Hey, welcome in to another episode of Let's Talk Local. I'm your guy, Deke, here at 216 Creator Studios. And today's episode is being sponsored by our good friends over at Cars. Right here in Crystal Lake, they do fantastic work over at Cars, whether you need an oil change, brakes, tie rods, anything that has to do with your car, they can take care of you. Here's the cool thing, and why I take my cars to Cars, is they know you're busy, and they know that it's hard sometimes to get your car into the shop, and you may let things go longer than they need to. They have a concierge service. It's really, really cool. You call them up, you drive to work, they'll come pick your car up and fix it while you're at work and bring it back to you. So you don't have to take time out of your busy schedule or your day for them to take care of what's wrong with your cars. Chris and his team are absolutely phenomenal. I just took my truck there a couple of weeks ago, and they did a great amount of work to it. The cost was great. They did excellent work. The thing rides so beautifully. It's unbelievable. Check them out at carsauto.com. That's CARRS auto.com. Today, I have the pleasure sitting right next to me, Mr. Juan Miranda from JFM Defense. And Juan is teaching new generations of responsible firearm owners the art of self-defense. And you can find him at www.jfmdefense.com. Juan, welcome in.
Thank you for having me.
Hey, glad to have you here, man.
Yeah, first experience being on one of these shows.
Hey, it's so far so good, right? Everybody give him a shot. You know what? I'm enthralled with your business because I think it's something that's needed in the space, right? Mm-hmm. There right now more than ever, especially here in America, it's weird that there's a lot of tension, there's a lot of things going on.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on right now.
It's nuts.
Yeah.
But tell us a little bit about Juan and what your passion was to start this incredible business.
So pretty much I started out, it kind of kicked off during COVID, to be honest.
Yeah.
And I don't have any military background or any retired police or anything like that. I'm just your average Joe. Your average Juan.
Your average Juan.
Right? Yeah. So my experience into the gun world, I mean, I came from Chicago. Yep. So guns weren't new.
Right.
I didn't own
We'll call them firearms.
Yeah, I'm sorry, firearms. Self-defense tools and all that stuff. Right. I didn't own one back in Chicago. When I came out here, it was kind of like, well, there's more stuff to do. There's, sports and other stuff. So I ended up, getting my permit. And the experience I had during my concealed carry permit classroom left a lot to be desired. In my eyes. So I'm not going to name names or anything like that because it is what it is, right? So for me, my experience was we sat in a classroom and he had YouTube playlist for 16 hours, right? 16 hours of YouTube playlist. Here, shoot a few rounds. Cool.
Yeah.
And after that, I was like, okay. What's going on? And they're like, yeah, you passed, apply.
Congratulations.
Right. It was one of those. So I was like, okay, so I did the application and everything like that. And I got my permit and everything. And I was like, well, I don't feel comfortable to, just strap on a self-defense tool and head out the door because what's going to happen to me?
Yeah.
Right. If I ever have to need it, I don't have any training. So I started doing some digging, doing some more research as to, okay, is this the norm, right? Is this what everybody's experience is? And I came to find out that majority of the time that is the experience, right? Okay. It is just Here's the curriculum from Illinois. This is what they got to go through, and then that's it.
Yeah, that's like showing up to a college and watching YouTube and getting a degree.
Right, and then to me it was like, okay, there's so much going on, because what happens in the event that you need to use your self-defense tool, right? Everything we see on the news and everything we see in movies is, oh yeah, he's the good guy, he's fine, nothing's going to happen. And the more I started doing research, the more I kept looking through articles, looking through testimonials and everything like that. It's like, that's not the case, especially in a very, very strict state like Illinois, right? So turns out that you will get arrested. It doesn't matter if you're 100% on the right, you did everything you're supposed to do, you're still going to get arrested, right? And you're going to have a criminal case. And whether or not you get your own lawyer or get a state-appointed attorney and you succeed and you're found not guilty, because you'll never be found innocent, just always going to be not guilty.
Correct.
What happens after, right? It's like, yeah, I'm good. No, you're going to get the knock on the door because there's another lawyer with a civil lawsuit, right? Because XYZ person that tried to mug you, you defended yourself, has a baby mama.
Or somebody who broke into your house.
Right. Has a baby mama who's no longer getting child support. Or a baby daddy. Or my uncle's no longer paying. Right. And they want money. There's no state-appointed attorney for that.
Yeah.
Right. And then that's the part where 90% of people end up losing their paychecks, losing their homes, losing everything because they had to defend themselves. And they were righteous in the defense, but what happened after that? They got sued, no way to defend, no way to counteract that, and now they're paying for it just because
out their nose, perhaps,
right? Just because they survived something, they're paying for it even more now.
Right. Now, with what you do and how you do it, right? I'm not a gun owner by choice. I do believe. I'm sorry, firearm. Sorry about that. It is your constitutional right to have it, and I believe that. I don't think they're dangerous. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm the guy who doesn't own but has no problem. Right? Are you finding that more and more people like me are coming to learn about?
Yes. Yeah, and that started right during the whole COVID era.
Yeah.
It was all the peaceful protests that were going on that triggered a lot of people to go, wait a minute.
Yeah.
And it was like, hey, you have, self-defense tools. Can you teach me a little bit? I just want to be prepared. I want to know what to expect. And I was like, sure. And then that led to, well, maybe this is something I should be focusing more on. And I ended up pushing myself to take a course, get more knowledge and start doing the instructing business. And then that's what kickstarted all of this. And the way I approach it, and I've told all of my students usually in the beginning of class, is I'm not here to teach you how to shoot, because anybody can learn how to shoot. Anybody can teach you how to shoot. Anybody can YouTube it now as to what's this? Yes, I'm going to touch base on the grips. I'm going to touch base on this. What I focus in my classroom is how to keep you morally safe, financially safe, and obviously
unique.
ethically. Yeah,
that's very
because it goes down to your statement earlier. If somebody breaks into your house, right? You grab your self-defense tool. You defend yourself. You stop that threat, and that threat's still alive, but not a threat to you. But they're fading away. What do you do in that scenario? Right? Obviously you're calling the cops and everything like that, but do you just sit there and watch this person just pass away right in front of you? Or do you say, no, you're a bad person, but I still don't want that on my head, so I'm going to help you?
Yeah.
And then that's one of those where, well, what if you do that and that person has a knife and he's just waiting for you to get closer? Even though you're helping him, he's still going to continue his assault.
Fight or flight at that point.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah.
So that's one of those scenarios that we play out as to,
wow,
I don't have the right answer for any of my students, because it was like, I'm not going to be there for you.
Right.
So it's one of those, can you live with whatever decision you're making in that moment?
Yeah. That's where I'll see I watch a lot of cop shows, like the real ones, right? Where it's like the body cam stuff, and the threat was stopped, but then they go, hey, do you have anything sharp? Do you have any more weapons? And then they start administering first aid, because and they'll say, that's a human being, right? We stop the threat. That's a human being.
Well,
Right.
you know, too, cappuccino behind the scenes here, guys. Make sure you go to that YouTube channel, 216 Creator Studios. Like, share, subscribe, ding that bell for the future notifications. I have a question for you, Juan.
Yes, sir.
So, you know, one of the two things that come across table with defense tools is the word "it's a tool." There's a lot of people. There's a lot of belief out there that says, you know, the tool kills people. No, people kill people. The tool is just a tool. When people are learning or wanting to get a tool and or already have one and think they know everything, my question to you is, after you're done with your class, people who already have a tool, how many of them want to give them up?
I've had several people that after day 2 and everything like that, they'll sit there and like, all right, class is over, here's your stuff. And they'll sit there and I'm like, are you all right? And they're like, I did not expect any of this extra stuff. And I've had people tell me, it's like, I'm going to get it, but I don't want to carry anything because of all these other consequences that can happen if I ever have to use my self-defense tool righteously. I'm still facing all these other things that is like, I don't want that weight.
Well, we used to have a show here at 216 Creator Studios. I learned a lot in that space. And it's not necessarily the tool, it's the ammunition in it. And you take responsibility for wherever that stops or until it stops. You may be doing, like you said, you may be doing something tremendously great, but if it goes through and through or it hits somebody,
you're still responsible for
you're
wherever that
responsible
ends.
for that. Not when it comes out where it stops, which is very interesting. Now, when you're in your classes at JFM Defense, do you bring in other speakers? Is it just you? Do you bring in other experts? Do you bring in maybe people who had to use a tool? Or
I have testimonials of people that have had to use their self-defense tools, and I'll play like their stories. I also have different reps that have different organizations that help provide that legal protection, and then they bring in their own testimonials and bring in other people saying, "This is what I went through, and then this is what happened." And if I didn't have XYZ company backing me, I would probably be bankrupt right now.
Sure.
Right. So I provide all those types of actual real world scenarios versus just going textbook.
Right. That's fascinating to me, and I think that's what's so unique about JFM Defense, because your passion is let's learn, and you're giving them a serious education. That's why it says teaching new generations. Right. I love that, because it's not I grew up in Iowa. You got a pumpkin on a fence and a 12 gauge and you're having fun, right?
Right.
That's the easy part, and the idea of how you educate, like no, we're going to look at the whole landscape here. And we're not just going to jump in and do target practice.
Right. The way I approach it is usually I'll ask the simple question of, what is Mr. Miyagi's number one rule to winning a fight? Right? And
Wax
people,
on?
people in their mid-20s and stuff like that don't really understand that reference. So I look at them and it's like never being there to begin with.
Correct.
Right? And it all stems from being aware of where we are.
Yes.
And during this moment, is I'll whip out my cell phone and be like, this thing right here is amazing, right? It connects us to people around the world within seconds. It gives us whatever information we want. However, it also blinds us to our surroundings. How many times do you see people walking down the street with this in their hand and just crossing the street without looking?
I've seen people fall into fountains.
People are driving with this in their hands, right? And then based off of that, I pose a scenario. And I was like, okay, you guys are the bad guy. On this side, you have Arnold Schwarzenegger in his prime, walking down the street on his cell phone. And on this side, you have Carmen Diaz, fully aware of what's going on around her, just walking to the street. Who are you going to mug being the attacker? Right? And I get 60-40 responses of 60% will go to Cameron Diaz, and then the other 40 will go to Arnold. And then I'll ask, why would you pick Arnold? he's bigger than you, he's more muscular, he can probably beat up all of us here.
Right.
And it's the fact that he's oblivious to what his surroundings are. So at that point, size doesn't matter because you're not paying attention.
Right.
So yeah, Cameron Diaz is 100 pounds, but if she knows you're coming, there's a fight.
Yeah.
Arnold doesn't see it coming. Easy target.
Yeah.
And that's what attackers are usually going for, the quicks in and outs. So that's the whole, be aware of your surroundings, right?
Yeah. So in your training, then you kind of get them into a perpetrator's mindset, right?
Yeah.
Because I never thought of that, right? What you just said, I'd be like, I'd take the chick on, I'd still lose, but but you're right. She's got a chance to run, whatever. I never thought about that. So, a lot of the martial arts that are out there, they talk about that, as you say, Mr. Miyagi as well. But I never thought about, man, if he's oblivious, you're going to take a bat to the back of his knees, and down he goes, and wait,
Yeah, it's
here we go.
quick and easy, in and out.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Now, are you speaking of Cameron? Are you finding that a lot more women are starting to join the classes and
I've seen an uptick in women, and generally it's because I was like, well, my husband, he carries or he has his self-defense tool. So, but there's times where he's at work and I need to go out to the store, or I need to be out with my kid. And then a lot of the times it revolves back to, I'm out with my children and I need to be safe. I need to feel safer. And yeah, I mean, and the way I explain it to them, I always, preface it as like, hey, there's some things I'm going to say that are going to come off as like being a bigot or being sexist. And that's not how I'm trying to come across, but that's just the wording and how it sounds. And it's nothing against you. That's basically the law and how some of the law works. So for example, when we touch about necessary force versus deadly force, so not necessary force, equal force. Equal force. Okay. So, for example, equal force, you and me are fist fighting, right?
Yep.
It's not equal force if you decide to pull out a knife.
Gotcha.
Right? That's not equal force anymore. And if I pull out a knife, you have the right to pull out a self-defense tool where you're choosing and use it. However, when it comes to women, it's stated that generally women are the weaker sex. So even if it's a man that's unarmed with just their fist, they still have the legal right to pull out any weapon of self-defense as they choose to defend themselves. Yeah. Whether it is whatever it is that they're using. So the law kind of sides with them on that. And I'll get some women, they're like, well, no, I'm stronger. And I was like, I'm not saying you're not. I'm just going based off current facts of the law says X, Y, and Z. And that law applies. Doesn't matter what it is. She can be 220-pound bodybuilder, solid muscle, and the mugger can be 110 pounds soaking wet. He attacks her. She still has the right to use any self-defense tool that she chooses.
Yeah. Now, in your classes too, are you educating on? All right. Yeah. Hey, great. You got your concealed carry, but that doesn't mean you can go anywhere in the United States. Or and I don't know, right? Or is it? Hey, since I got it, I can.
Yeah, no, we touch base on to, like what your permit is.
Yeah.
And what it does and what it isn't.
Yeah.
For example, it's not a badge. You don't chase down bad guys. You don't go looking for trouble, right? You don't go to the south side of the city at midnight without a self-defense tool. Just because you have a permit to carry one doesn't mean you should. We'll touch base on areas that you are allowed to have your self-defense tool, places that you're not, parking lots that you're not allowed to, like the post office. Post office is a federal building, so you can't have anything there, including their parking lots.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, we touch base on all that kind of stuff, and it is like going back to like the moral stuff and everything like that. It's like, say you're at Sam's and somebody's coming in there doing a mass shooting. What do? Do you go out chasing, or do you defend yourself and get yourself out? If you're with your family, what do you do? So, and it's one of those, it's like, well, we don't have a badge. We're not superheroes. If that happens to me, I can tell you that if I'm with my family, my job is to get my family and me out safely.
Right.
After that, you call police, you call whatever you want. I'm not going back in there because I have no reason to. Right. My reasons are with me and we're all out safe.
That's awesome. Yeah. What about, you see in Hollywood a lot, skirmish breaks out or something. You're at Sam's, somebody pulls up, fires one just straight up in the air. Is that part of your training?
Yeah.
I don't
We
know.
talk about how you don't do that.
Oh, okay.
Desk pop.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't do desk pops because gravity is a thing.
Yeah.
Right? Gravity is a thing, and like we talked about earlier, you're responsible for everything. Right? So warning shots and all that, it's not a thing because stuff bounces and can hit something else that
Sure.
you're not intended to hit.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, what I feel brilliant about what he does is even if you don't have a tool, it's always good to get the education.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? I listen, back in the day when you were in a squabble and you took it out back, right?
Right.
And then all of a sudden, guys there with 5 of his buddies, and it's just you. The fist still flew. It wasn't like, let me go to my trunk.
Right.
And if you did, it was a crowbar, right? And listen, still not great, right? But you got to do what you got to do to get out of the situation. That doesn't mean sit on top and pummel.
Right.
That just means your whole goal is to get away from the problem.
Yeah.
That's the whole goal. And to learn that, and it takes the ignorance away for people that might not understand. I would say sign up with Juan. Go check it out. Like, listen, there's laws with mace. There's laws with knives. There's laws with all that stuff. Self-defense is self-defense, and if you have a tool to do it, it's probably a good idea to know the proper and the legal stance that's on it to get the analytics on what you're able to and what you're not able to live a little bit more comfortable if you ever are trapped like that raccoon in a corner, right? To where you have no choice but to go through the problem.
Yeah.
So I think education, no matter what, is good.
Yeah, I'm with. I'm a big, as you know, I'm a big education. I love to learn, right?
Right.
No matter what it is. That way, I can just carry conversations with people, but then I understand. And again, we're here with Juan Miranda from JFM Defense. People want to get in touch with you, want to take your classes. Where do they go to do that?
They can go to our website, jfmdefense.com, or you can shoot me an email at juan@jfmdefense.com. We're also on social media. Facebook, Instagram, same thing, jfmdefense.com.
Yeah, that's awesome. And it's so important what you're doing in today's world. I mean, just within the last couple of weeks when this show airs, there's been a lot of craziness that have happened in the United States with just craziness.
Yeah.
Right? And a lot of it, I think, if we were better educated on it, right? So, when I was a kid growing up in Iowa, in the parking lot of the high school back in the 80s, you had the 12 gauge and the 22 draped across your truck window.
Back window, yeah.
Back window, right? This is
it's
not
truck guns.
this is not a fabrication. This is true.
Yep.
Nobody, and we understood because our dads and everything. We had to go through the safety training, right? When I say ours, is people my age. I didn't have one. I had a Volkswagen Beetle, for crying out loud. But anyway, the idea was you didn't get a hunting license if you didn't go through the classes.
Correct.
If your dad would not let you go out in that field hunting without the proper knowledge and training, right? And then somewhere along the way, we were like, whatever, right? And now everybody has got it, and there's been some horrific things that have happened because of uneducated people using these self-defense tools.
Yeah.
Well, and I mean, listen, you have to go get a driver's license.
Absolutely.
To drive the biggest weapon you could possibly have.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, that kills more people than anything.
Yep.
Because of accidents, what they call accidents. And I love how you bring out the pocket computer problem, right? So the biggest weapon right now, to be honest with you, not a defense tool, but a weapon, is your pocket computer. Because you're not paying attention.
Yeah.
You're not paying attention when you drive. You're not paying attention when you're doing certain things. You can harm people's reputations. Let's look at Philly's Karen, right? This woman's life is destroyed because of the pocket computer. Yeah, she made a mistake and everything. But so if you're interested in learning the proper way of doing things, go find the right who that knows the how.
Yeah.
Juan's that guy, and local here. In the Crystal Lake, McHenry County area. If anybody here in the local pond would like we have it up there on the screen as jfmdefense.com. And, click on that link in the description below. You'll definitely be able to link right up with Juan. Great guy, by the way.
Yeah.
Met Juan at the gym. We were just chit-chatting, and I was like, what do you do? He's like,
Guys doing his team?
Defense. Defense. Oh, yeah. I was bothering him the whole time, He's like, why is this strange man in the sauna talking to me?
Why are people talking to me? Stranger danger.
Right.
Again, taught in JFM Defense.
If you deal with a cappuccino.
So as we're talking about this, is there a certain part of your classes of the training that you do that is your favorite? Because a lot of us out there, are like, oh, it's like an ex-military, an ex-cop, or maybe even an active member of the armed forces or whatever who are doing these schools, and some of us who don't have firearms are like, this is a crazy Marine or whatever, right? You're not crazy Marines. I love you, but you know what I mean. Now, here you are. You don't have that background. Right. You have a passion for teaching about this, but is there a certain portion of your training that you just get really super excited about, like, man, I love this part?
I would say my favorite part would be just like my basics class.
Okay.
Because I usually get a lot of newer people that have never touched a self-defense tool or anything like that. And as we're sitting there going over the parts and taking it apart and things like that, you start seeing the light bulbs click into the head, and they're getting it. They're like, oh, this is pretty cool. Yeah. This is actually nice. And the thing that I do is, especially for like my basics class, somebody that's never actually used a self-defense tool like this, I give them an airsoft gun.
Oh.
But my airsoft guns look legit.
Yeah.
I just don't tell them it's an airsoft gun.
Sure.
And I just remind them that it's like, hey, this is a safe environment right now. I want you to grab this. I want you to go through all the process that we've shown you, how to check it, how to clear it, and make sure it's good. And they'll go through all that, and then I was like, okay, now this is more realistic. I want you to squeeze that trigger so you can feel what a typical low-cal recoil will feel like. And a lot of them will be hesitant at first, and I remind them, like, there's nothing in there, you're safe, it's just going to be so you can understand how it feels. And then, they'll squeeze, and it's an airsoft gun, so it pops and slides back and everything like that. And you see either two reactions. You see a freak out reaction, like, oh my God, this is crazy, or oh my God, this is fun. Right? And eventually both end up in the exact same thing as to, I want to do this again. Yeah, I was scared, but I want to do it again. And I was like, okay, go out, squeeze a few more so you can get a better feel. And then we'll go to a range, and then they'll actually use one. And they're like, this is fun. I can't believe I was afraid of all this. This is amazing.
It's now I've been to a range, and it takes a lot of the Hollywood out of it, right?
I was just gonna say that. Yeah,
like literally a 9 to hit that slide. I could, I was gonna be like, but I was like, and they're like, yeah, not quite, like Hollywood, like, great,
Right.
The AR again was the concussion from that. I think I'm saying that right. Like the poof, is like, whoa. I wasn't ready for that. Right, it's a big boom, but I wasn't ready for the concuss. Coming off of that.
Well, and take it away from the Hollywood side of it.
Yeah,
right? Everybody's got this picture in their mind.
Yes.
When I was a kid, we had farmland, and I would go out to the back by the dump, and we would put out giant targets to hit, and my whole family has hunting tools, right? And from 9mm to whatever, so you go out there dual fisting, right, and then aiming sideways. We hit nothing 10 feet away. We're like, wow, that's never. That
never happens until
you were the stormtroopers.
How many times have you seen that where you take them to the range and you're like, no.
I've had it where they'll try to do the side. I was like, don't do that sideways, saying you're going to get hit in the face.
Right.
Right. And they're like, how? I was like, it's going to recoil, and your hand's going to go this way and right into your face. That's why we don't do that.
The amazing thing about the range is, and I imagine with the concealed carry too, it's a very, very zen. You you have to be in the moment. You have to understand the tool you have. You have to understand your surroundings when you have it. You're in a booth, at a range, but you have to understand who's
next to you
in the other ones. You don't, right? I mean, and I think that the relaxing piece of it when you're done is because you're so in the moment. You're not going anywhere else. You're not thinking of work. You're not thinking of the grocery list. You're like, okay, am I handling this right? Am I doing everything right? And then when you were done, especially after the first time, a lot of people go, hey, that wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
Right?
And going off of that, it's also you see yourself improving. And that's one of the things I have around my classrooms. I literally have the first target I ever shot.
Really?
Yeah, it's up on a wall. It's horrible. It's horrible. But then around the corner, I have my target from when I did my permit.
Yeah.
Complete difference.
Yeah.
Everything from scattered to more controlled and way better accuracy and better grouping.
Yeah.
And then it's like, it's like I came from you guys. I came from not knowing anything to shooting like this to over here. Now it's a lot better.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm not done. There's still more tweaking, more improving to do. So you always got to try to better yourself every single time. But it's like, if I can do it, somebody had no type of background in any of this, anybody, any average person can get to the exact same spots. Right?
Now, do you have anybody show up with a 3D printed
No.
tool? Because that's a big thing a lot now too,
Yeah.
right? If you did, what?
What about a slingshot?
Yeah, right. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, those are not legal.
Yeah.
So that would be a whole different conversation.
got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I can't fathom it. I don't understand that, but I do know that they're out there. Now, you got any specials going on for anybody that's out there listening? Do you have anything coming up for the holidays?
Yeah, I actually, one of the promos I have going on is usually for like referral stuff. So if anybody that's coming to me from here,
Yep.
as long as they've mentioned, hey, I've saw the podcast, I saw this, so I'm kind of like, we'll give you 10% off your classes.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, say right here, 216 Creator Studios. You saw them, heard about it, and away we go. Now, you're located where?
I'm actually in Crystal Lake.
Okay.
Yeah. So from here, this location, 10 minutes.
Nice.
Yeah.
And that's great for a lot of local people. Is there age limits that have to be followed or no?
For my concealed carry classes, yes, you have to be at least 21.
Okay.
For like my basic stuff, I've taught children as long as their parents are okay and they're there present. I have no issues with it.
Yeah, nice. And as long as their check doesn't bounce. Right?
Yes.
Right. Yeah, what's next? What's next on the docket for JFM, for Juan?
Just trying to get more people interested, more people to come to the classes, get more attention, and just start building from there. We have different plans as to how to expand to different other aspects of self-defense, but we just need to get there. Need to grow in order to get to that section.
Yeah. The other thing that I like on your website is slow is smooth, smooth is fast. Tell me, just as we kind of wrap this up, what you're teaching there.
Everybody wants to go in there and rapid fire and hit all your shots on target, and then it's one of those where you can get there, but not right off the bat. You need to start slow. So slow being smooth is fast. So the more you go slower, you can eventually start speeding yourself back up. And we have drills in classes where we teach you how to speed up. We'll start with 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2,
Nice.
and keep pushing you past your comfort zone to see where your grouping starts going up. I was like, okay, let's bring it back. So eventually, smooth is fast.
Right.
Just like golfing, there's a lot to remember before you squeeze.
Right.
And you're all the way from your grip. And if you want to hit a nice little grouping, how far did your barrel move from the last time you shot?
Yeah, that was
so.
amazing.
There's a lot involved.
Yeah. Yeah, you're not going to be a Doc Holliday out there.
No, everybody thinks that. Yeah, everybody.
You can. It just takes some time.
I won't. No, I won't. Listen, we're right at the back end of this, man. I appreciate your time. I'm going to talk to you more off camera as well. I find it fascinating because I think it's something that whether you own, you don't own, it's an education that you should have.
Correct.
And that way you'll know, you understand, right? And you won't be scared. Right, you could still be frightened, I guess, but you know what I mean.
You have more knowledge and be better prepared.
Yeah,
right.
You know, growing up in the trades, the first time I worked a skill saw, I thought you were, oh, keep your hands back, Now I do stupid things because I'm relaxed.
Well, it teaches you how to respect it and not fear it. And then it takes the curiosity away. Most, and I'm sure you can correct me on this, most kids that get hurt by the tool at home is because they're curious about it and they're never allowed to see it or touch it or do anything or learn the proper way of it. Yeah. If it becomes just a tool in their mind, they don't even want to deal with it anymore. They're already done. Curiosity's gone.
It's like the washing machine.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know how to use that.
Oh, man.
Thank God I'm married.
All right, take us out, Ken.
All right. Hey, we can't thank you enough for joining us on this episode of Let's Talk Local. Of course, this has been with Juan Miranda from JFMDefense.com. If you need to go there, mention that you heard him right here on Let's Talk Local, and there's a 10% discount for you as well. And a big shout out to our friends over at carsauto.com for sponsoring this episode. We absolutely love them. Check them out, too, if you need any work done to your car. Until next time, this is Deke.
Let's talk local, listen global.
Have a good one, guys.